You rest more than any generation before you. You sit more, sleep more. You have more comfort than anyone ever has. And yet you're exhausted all the time. This should bother you because that exhaustion isn't coming from your hard work. That exhaustion's coming from what you're doing when you're not working. If you're anything like me, when you started feeling this way, tired all the time, you thought it was your sleep. And what I learned is that you don't fix exhaustion at night, you fix it during the day. Because sleep helps, but it will never ever fix those lifestyle problems. Because I was getting 8-9 hours of sleep at night when I decided I was going to fix it. Did that for weeks. And I still was waking up. I didn't want to get out of bed. I wanted to go back to sleep. I felt like shit all day. You know how it is. You've probably done it. You're probably doing it right now. That's probably why you're here, because you're frustrated. But we're going to fix it. I'm going to teach you what you're doing wrong, what you're doing right, and how to get past it. Because the first thing is that poor days lead to poor sleep. It's not the other way around. Well, it is the other way around, but you can have poor sleep in a good day. Because I know you've had those days you got 3 hours of sleep and you were like off the perk, crazy, having a good day. Because I had a. So it's not poor sleep that leads to a bad day. It can influence. It can make your choices poor. It can do all sorts of stuff, but it's never the root cause. But a poor day is always going to be followed with bad sleep. Have you ever had a loved one get in an accident, God forbid, die? You don't sleep that night because you had a bad day. You're thinking about that bad day, and when you do sleep, you're dreaming about it. You don't sleep well. But things don't have to be awful tragedies to do that to you. There's lots of things that we're doing in our day-to-day lives that are causing our sleep to be poor, our energy levels to be poor. So we're going to get into that now. Because when you fix your day, your sleep's going to improve naturally. That's going to help your energy levels, number one. But what's wrong with your day? So overstimulation is draining your energy. Your brain is sprinting, your body is still, and that's a problem. That's not how we're meant to be ran. There's an old saying that when the body's in motion, the mind is free. So what does the opposite look like for that? If your mind's like that and your body's still, that's not good for you. The constant notifications, the background noise, the constant scrolling on your phone, it's all bad for you. It's constantly running your brain. Your brain's constantly going, and it wasn't meant for that. So your dopamine is spiking all day long, and it has a baseline level. Like your baseline's here, and you might eat, that raises it. You might do something fun, that raises it, but it always comes back down. And normally, normal things we do, they raise it a little bit and it comes back down. That's normal, that's fine, that's how we're supposed to be. But when we do artificial things, they spike it like this, crazy high levels, because it's meant to do that to you. And how do you feel? You're up here, you feel great. Maybe not. You don't really feel that great when it's up here, but you know, it's easy, it's nice, it feels good. How do you feel when you go back down to normal? And it's not usually going to normal. It goes below normal, back to normal. So you get this dip, you get off TikTok, you get off whatever. And you get into this dip before you get back to baseline. You hate this dip, you want to go back, so you get right back on. That's when you mindlessly get back on it. When you close it, and 10 seconds later you're back on, you're like, wait, what? When did I do that? I thought I closed it. That's when that happens, when you get this dip in your dopamine levels. And this causes a mental fatigue, because not only is your brain constantly going, it's the hormones are going like that all day long, and it's creating a mental fatigue. And we easily, as humans, will get that mental fatigue mixed up with a physical fatigue. Because when our mind is weak, our body feels weak. But it doesn't actually mean our body's physically fatigued. You might feel stiff because you've been laying all day, but that doesn't mean you're fatigued. And now, you may be feeling foggy, irritable, tired, and even after you rest, man, my nose keeps itching. Even after you rest. So let's talk about your rest, because you're probably not actually resting. You're not resting. You're probably just distracting yourself. Because when you're laying in bed scrolling, when you're binge watching, that's not rest. That keeps your nervous system going. That doesn't allow for your true parasympathetic recovery state. That does not allow for that because your mind, you're watching, you're involved. You know, your heart rate starts racing when something happens on television, like it's happening to you. You're playing a video game, your brain is like there, your brain's in fight or flight. That's not rest. Could you imagine running from a gunman? Is that rest? Because that's what your brain's convinced you're doing. Your brain is 100% convinced that's what you're doing because it can't tell fake from real. You can close your eyes and imagine something and open and be like, where is it? Just for a split second. But it's going to happen because your brain cannot tell a difference between illusion and reality. So for true rest, you know, you can still scroll, you can still watch TV because those are normal human things. Those are things we enjoy, but that's not rest. That's a hobby. When you rest, you just need to lay there, you know, lay there, sit there, exist, be in your room, be outside, wherever it may be. You just need to exist. That's true rest, is just existence. Being there in the moment. You know, you don't have to be alone. Rest can be hanging out with friends. Rest can be being with family. Just be there in the moment. Be mindful of the moment. Enjoy the moment. Rest can be eating. Sit there and don't watch YouTube. Just acknowledge the textures of the food. Acknowledge the taste of the food. It's great. It's an amazing experience that when I actually do it, I'm glad I put down my phone and just tried to enjoy eating. Because it's a great experience. It really, truly is. So, try some of that. And speaking of eating, you know, your body needs fuel. And it needs fuel to do hard things, like exercising. Which brings me to the next point. Your lack of movement is creating fatigue. Because as I said earlier, when your mind feels weak, your body feels weak. But the opposite's also true. When your body feels weak, your mind follows. Because you're not confident in your strength. You're not confident in your ability to do things. So then the mind thinks it's weak because this is weak. And so the physical challenge will improve your confidence because you'll see your body grow. You'll see your strength get better, whatever your focus may be. You'll see you lose fat, whatever it is. And that will also use some energy. It'll give your body a reason to want to sleep. It'll give your body a reason to want to create energy. Because if you don't give it a reason, it adapts. It adapts to everything you do. It's the reason why you grow muscles when you work out. It's going to adapt to everything you do during the day. So if you're not doing anything, it's not going to produce energy because it doesn't need to. That's a waste. But if you start doing stuff, it's going to suck. You're going to be tired at first. It's not going to make your life feel any easier at first. Which is another thing you need to accept. But as you go, it gets easier. There's a hard at first and then easier as it goes. So that's going to be, you know, something that you need to focus on. Very importantly, probably one of the first things you should focus on is your physical body, your physical appearance. And it will also give you some purpose. Which brings me to the next thing. You're confusing your burnout with meaninglessness. A lack of purpose drains your energy. Being in limbo drains your energy, makes you feel like a loser, makes you feel like you don't know what you're doing. Because us as people, we're always very focused, driven on a certain goal. So when you don't have one, it's something's missing because that's how we are. That's what we're wired to do. Doing things you don't care about, no long-term direction, that kills you. If the most meaningful thing you do in the day is scroll or work a job you hate, that's draining your energy because energy goes where attention flows. If your attention's on something you hate, your energy is going to be something you hate. Maybe you don't hate scrolling, but I bet deep down you have a resentment for it somewhere in there because you know it wastes your time. You know that. And that deep down resentment, that's where your energy is truly going. You're creating a lot of resentment and hate in yourself, which will be channeled out towards yourself, towards others, towards everything in your day, which is overall going to drain more of your energy because being negative and that sort of thing hurts your energy levels. Trust me, I know. I was edgy for years, wanted to be opposite of everything. Sometimes I still do, but I know that that mindset can drain your energy like crazy. And then, speaking of where your energy goes, attention, or where attention goes, energy flows. Attention fragmentation is exhausting you. So attention fragmentation is just when you are breaking stuff up, multitasking, that sort of thing. And it may seem more productive, but it isn't, because it's just wasting your energy on tasks, making them take longer and causing your brain to have to constantly switch. Now, some switching is good. Studies have shown that switching between tasks every 30 so minutes actually helps your attention. But we're talking about when you're scrolling and then, oh, I'm typing part of my essay, scrolling some more. Oh, I got a math assignment due. I should probably look at that before I continue. When you're doing that, that drains your energy, even though it feels very productive. It feels like you're getting everything done at once. You're making 3 tasks, doing them all at once, and making each one of them take 3 times as long. So then it feels like, all I did today was write an essay. I'm so exhausted. When in reality, you could have done it in 3-4 hours max, but it took you 8 because you were scrolling, you started checking your other classes, you let your mind go too many places. And this isn't productive, because let's think about it from your body's perspective. Imagine you were in the gym. When you go in the gym, you have a set of muscle groups that you're going to train, like maybe today's chest, shoulders, triceps, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to train each one at a time. I'm going to do my chest, then do my shoulders, and I'll do my triceps in order of importance, right? I'm not going to go in there and be doing bench press with one arm and working my triceps with the other arm. That's not going to work. I'm going to fatigue myself way sooner. I'm going to not be able to focus on any contraction because I'm trying to do 2 opposing things at the same time. So why would your body be any different than your mind? Because your mind's what controls this. Splitting your mind in half between tasks is the same thing as splitting your mind in half between body parts. It's why when you're trying to, the old thing of patting your head while rubbing your belly and it jacks you up. You do it for a little bit, but then it jacks you up, you mess up. That's because your brain is not meant to focus on 10 things at once. It's meant to focus on 1, maybe 2 things. And usually those things should be related. So multitasking in a short term, bad. Multitasking, task 30 minutes, maybe good, depends on how your brain is. But that has been shown to be good. So I'm not going to completely diss it, but I'm going to diss it the way that we typically do it as humans. So when you're doing that, it's creating that feeling of being super productive. But then you finish and you feel super drained. So we should avoid doing that as well. So, just to bring it all home, you don't need more caffeine. You don't need another routine. You don't got to keep on doing 10 things at once, watching videos. You just need less noise, more movement, real rest, life that demands something of you, and some focus. And that life that demands something of you, when you find it, it's going to take some time, but that journey to find it is your purpose for now. When you find that life, this other stuff follows a lot easier. But when you make it your purpose to find what you need to do, this stuff's going to follow too. It's going to be hard because everything worth something is hard in this life. It's not going to make your life easier. If you're going in with the mindset, if it's going to make my life easier because I'm doing X, Y, and Z, you've already failed. You have to accept it's going to be harder because right now you're in that comfort mode. And that comfort mode wants an easier life at all times. So when you tell that comfort mode that, hey, if I do all this stuff and find my purpose, my life will be easier, comfort mode is going to be like, okay. And then it gets hard. Like, nope. So don't do that. You got to accept it, truly accept it in your heart that this is going to be hard. Maybe the hardest thing you've ever done in your entire life. I don't know your life, but it may be. It could be. And once you accept that fully, it could take you weeks, months. That's a hard thing to accept. You're going to have failures along the way because you thought you accepted, but you didn't. And, it's good. It's good to have failures. They teach you something. They're always a great thing. Winning doesn't teach you anything. Failure teaches you what you did wrong and how to fix it. So that's about all. Less noise, more movement, more focus. Find your purpose. Get back with me.